Guardiola happy, Man City hearing to begin on Monday. Former England manager Eriksson's funeral held in Sweden. Sterling has hunger and point to prove, according to Mikel Arteta. Set pieces and midfield issues where the North London derby could be won. Hujambo mpenzi mtazamaji na karibu katika makala ya The Football Slip. Baada ya takriban majuma mawili, ligi kuu za hadhi barani Ulaya zinarejea. Na zirejei tu bali zinarejea kwa kishindo kikubwa sana. Nchini Uingereza, maligi ile ya Uingereza ambayo ina hadhi inapendwa sana na wengi. Vinywa wengi ni mchuano mmoja tu, derby lile la London kati ya Arsenal na Tottenham Hotspur. Mimi ni wako Hassan Juma. Sipo peke yangu bali na wenzangu, si wageni hawa, ni wanahabari wenzangu. Roger Zeshtemi, mambo vipi bro?
Fresh Juma.
All is well?
Kabisa.
You don't look happy though.
I'm happy. The Premier League is back.
Exactly.
Football is literally back. Yeah. So, of course, it's going to be a very busy weekend. And we expect maybe the fans, the viewers, they'll enjoy it and maybe they'll reap from what they want to see tonight. Yeah.
Through the slip, of course.
Of course. And also, as you know, of course, tomorrow's Standard newspaper has a big coverage. You know what is happening. We have the Diamond League, of course. Our champions, the world beaters, the likes of Beatrice Chebet, the likes of Faith Kipyegon, Emmanuel Anyonyi will be in Brussels trying to fight out for the final award in the Diamond League that is in Brussels. You know, the Diamond League season ends tomorrow. So, of course, we expect them to come home with a lot of trophies.
You're not talking about Gourmet and...
Gourmet will, of course, also be in action in the CAF competition. We start off with Kenya Police. They are making their debut in the competition. They are facing Egyptian giants, that's Zamalek. Zamalek are not new in Kenya. They've been here previously. They played against Gourmet. They played against Samia Sugar some years back. So they're not new in Kenyan football. So expect, of course, Kenya Police to give them a run for their money. And then the following day, it will be another battle of titans between the record Champions League champions, that's Al Ahly, against the record Kenyan champions, Gourmet. Of course, they are met previously, but it's going to be a different scenario altogether when they collide at Nyayo Stadium on Sunday.
Of course, we'll talk a lot about that with Roger Zeshtemi. Baba Nora, Mwana Nora, man of tactics. Umevaa jezi la wachezaji 200 kwa uwanja. Bro, hii selection mnafanyaje? Mkangai wala. Selection ya Chelsea mnafanyaje?
Sema basi hawatoshi kwenye basi.
Watu 200 hao.
Watu 200.
Umetia chumvini wachezaji.
Wewe na utach.
43. Wachezaji 43
oh, sorry.
Kwa sababu alikuwa 45. Nani akatupwa nje, akarusha. No. 44 sasa. Rahim alipotupwa nje, alafu Sanja akarudi. Ni 44 sasa. Kwa hiyo nafikiri kwamba ni wachezaji ambao wanakuangaliwa sana. Nashukuru sana weekend imerudi. Na unapotaja kwamba Zamalek ilikuwa hapa ikapiga na Gor Mahia nini na nini, taja kwamba mwaka 1987 1987 na ulipigwa hapa na Leopards 3-1 hapa Kenya. AFC Leopards ikiwatandika, na saini ukiangalia katika ligi ya Kenya timu ambayo inaongoza ni AFC Leopards. Imekaa pale juu ya table for the last 3 weeks. Yani timu ambayo very comfortable. Kwa hivyo haitakuwa ni mara ya kwanza. Unajua watu wanaongea sifu Zamalek kucheza hapa Kenya ni mara ya kwanza. Atimara sijui Al Ahly umekuwa hapo akipigwa na AFC Leopards. So ni kitu ambacho nafikiri
tuongee kuhusu FC.
Ni mfano kwa na jaribu kumkumbusha mwenzangu hapa.
Ni historia. Tulikuwa tunajaribu kuambia wasikilizaji kuwa si mara kwanza.
So nashukuru niko hapa leo. Nasikia weekend iliyopita Ijumaa Wakenya alijaribu kuongea vitu vingi sana. So niko hapa namfikiria, nimekuwa naye kabla maandalizi ya kipindi.
Mmempangia?
Niko hapa akinywa chai pale juu.
Mmempangia?
Amekunywa chai nyingi sana. So I'll deal with him hapa. So tutakuwa tunaangalia North London derby, lakini kubwa pia weekend hii nafikiri ambayo itaangaliwa sana ni Al Kickoff.
Watu wa Mlima usiguse Mlima.
Bora Mlima usiguse. Bora Mlima.
Ground. Kiza ground.
Hapo usikize ground. Ground inasemaje?
Ground inasemaje?
Eshitami ameshtuka. Umemuuliza? Kwani unakaa ni kama umeshtuka? Hana Declan Rice. hana Martin Odegaard. Atafikiria ni Jorginho, ni Havertz, ni nani ambaye ndio maana
Hatuko vizuri.
Ako stressed.
Tuko vizuri.
Akisikiza ground anaona hii kitu. Lakini niko poa. Nafurahia kwamba ni Ijumaa nyingine. We are going to be talking about sports. Yes. The football sleep is one of the biggest show.
Karibu utoe na Kikuyu bro.
Karibu. Nakwambia Murima
inatereza.
Unajua kuna wakati Murima inatereza.
Robi.
Sasa umempea nani? Umempea Robi nafasi sasa ya nini ya Murima.
Robi maze bro. Hapa tukiacha mtu wa Murima endelee, asikize ground, tutaendelea mpaka kesho. Uko juu koje na Sedo?
Hassan Juma, you know you've had a couple of jokes here and there, but you know you laughs the best. Yes, it's all about the football sleep. We've had a fantastic week when you talk about football. The international break is over. We are getting into club football action, and we'll be talking about that later on in the show. And today, joining me, as usual, Cedric Musumba. Anasema yeye ni mtu wa mambo serious. How are you, Cedric?
Hi, how are you?
You had a fantastic weekend?
Yeah.
Week.
A football break that actually was given oil by different kind of scenario that we can't even permit here and there, given that the so-called big wings of the soccer.
Yes.
At some point they are weeping their tears. And given to that particular point, we're not quite sure if it will end at a precarious kind of state, or maybe they will finally find their feet very well and maybe qualify for World Cup. And that's what I mean is Brazil.
Yes. So, Cedric, I can't feel your energy. You know, we've seen what Mkangai, Eshtemi, and Daniel are doing, but I know when I want to feel your energy, where I start. So, let's quickly recap how the week was in terms of football. We begin with the Harambee Stars. We got a 2-1 win against Namibia, a match that was played in South Africa. What are your thoughts briefly on this win?
Yeah, the first match actually they disappointed, and we were out actually to throw all whatever tantrum that we can on their side. And I think they felt us. That weight was not quite heavy. They needed a chance actually to offload that particular weight, which they did when they finally landed in South Africa. They did some quite of venture. First 45 minutes was kind of cagey, and so misery-like to us. And again, at that particular point, still castigating them. We didn't know when they will actually break the even and maybe start giving us goals that we were waiting for.
Yes.
Then the second 45 minutes is when now they literally noticed that they wanted to go out and get 3 points, which and again could actually put them back into the contention. And then the result was there. Thanks to Duke Abuya and Avira.
Yeah. Yes, aside from that, Cedric, I want us to quickly talk about African football. The Giants, Ghana, they've not won in the AFCON qualifiers. What is not happening to them?
We necessarily don't know actually what is picking up with this particular team, given to the result that they gave us in 2010. Remember, trading here in South Africa, and a team that could not actually be mad by the so-called stars at that particular time. Went out and gave us a result. They almost actually missed by an inch to grace in semi-final of World Cup. And but if you go by how they play, currently, given the stars that they have, you can't even compare the two. The current star can't be compared to the 2010 team that they literally was posing in World Cup.
Yes.
But we literally doesn't know. Maybe their dressing room is not quite solid enough. They are not maybe in good terms, and also the coach is not really putting, and the captain in the upper club not putting the team together. But if you go by their back line, it represents what actually the Ghana that we saw in World Cup. The likes of Salisu, the likes of Saidu, the likes of Mumi. Those are the center, the back line that actually gave Ghana the urge and the oomph that we expected. But coming to qualify for Africa Cup of Nations, we haven't been seeing that. Lapti trading at Brighton, coming back to Ghana, we thought that maybe he will be bringing the value that has been gracing the EPA, but that has not been seen. Inake Williams, all the way from La Liga, coming back to Ghana, the result is not there.
There's a word that you've used, oomph. There's a team that we all associate with oomph. Brazil. What is not happening to this country, Cedric?
This is a team that is still rebuilding. Remember, since 2002, Brazil has never been the Brazil that we used to. And I think that team of the likes of Ronaldinho, the likes of Ronaldo, when actually they retired, I don't know if their gods went with them to sleep the God of Brazil hasn't been actually risen enough to give the Brazil that we want. Okay, we might say, and if you go by how Vinicius Junior spoke after the match, he was quite isolated. He could drive the ball up front, but he couldn't actually see anywhere somebody support that he enjoyed at the Real Madrid. And at the end of the game, he was like, what you people see me doing at Real Madrid was not here simply because I didn't get enough support when I was breaking out of the team to go and find goals.
Now that you have spoken about getting support, let's go to a man who's always getting support and who's always not failing his people. Harry Kane, 100 games for England. He's a man of all occasions.
Actually, him speaking, he was like, he wasn't even quite sure if he will reach where he is currently. He's enjoying actually the peak of his kind of the career, but what he's just lacking, according to him, he would like to win something with this English team, not only those cup that he's enjoying currently. At some point, remember, he was sent on loan to Leicester. Wall Street.
It's yes, aside from Leicester, of course, we saw what he did.
Those three essence of him trading on loan could not augur well with him, and he wasn't that quite happy. Coming back to EPL, actually, he started growing and riding high, of which he has given a mass, whatever, that he's kindly being celebrated for those cups of clicking 100.
Yes, Cedric, a man that has been always celebrated in the world, Cristiano Ronaldo, currently says that, Manchester United are taking the right direction when it comes to rebuilding the club. And he says that probably, Ten Hag does not have the right attitude to be the Manchester United manager. Now, aside from this, let's move on to other news that was making headlines this week in sports. Mikel Arteta signed a 3-year contract extension with the Gunners, so we'll be expecting a lot from them. And he signs that deal at the time when Arsenal is taking on Tottenham in the North London derby. Now, aside from that, this man right here, Soon John Ham. Now, let me tell you one interesting thing about this man. He was banned by the Chinese FA for match fixing. He's from South Korea. Him and 38 other players were banned for match fixing in South Korea. Now, Cedric, there's a phenomenon. Ushaisikia mtu alikuwa mzee kitambo and now he's very young.
Permuting to what?
Okay, let's take a look at the next slide, please. Can we take a look? No, not this one. We are past the North London derby. We are past this. There's one more. Kuna jamaa alikuwa mzee kitambo. Saizi is very young. I don't understand the kind of confusion that we are having right here. Huyu jamaa alikuwa mzee kitambo. Saizi is very young. I think he's eating the proceeds of match fixing.
I literally doesn't know who he is, but associating this face, maybe he's a brother to Mwamukangai here.
Yes.
And also, you might also think that this is an lost guy at this particular time.
Yes.
As an given to whatever, if at all it's Mukangai, the current Mukangai that we do enjoy, somebody might confuse with whatever Mukangai is doing currently, because if you go by this, somebody might associate this with the ghosts or the shadows. Okay, I'm sorry, Trey, but I literally doesn't know who he is, and I can't really talk much about it.
Okay, Mukangai. Life ilikuwa imekupiga ama nini?
Oh, you mean this Mukangai?
Yeah, this Mukangai. Ulikuwa na moja beti Ivane. Ulikuwa na moja beti ama ilikuwa nini? You can't compare those two pictures. I mean, the man on the TV right now and what we just seen.
Umemsikia Denu? Umemsikia Denu? Mwelekezi. Ulikuwa unasubiri nini pande?
No, aroma.
Okay, 11-10.
Bro, standard group tumekusaidia bro.
Manze, umetoka far.
Standard group tumekusaidia bro.
If kutoka far
was a person.
Yes.
Nilikuwa bado standard hii picha.
Ati?
Ilikuwa standard.
Ulikuwa standard?
Ulikuwa standard hapo?
Ilikuwa standard.
Ai, mwaka gani hiyo?
Hapo ulikuwa niko internship. Nilikuwa nimepitia pale check up. Pale Shauri Moyo.
Check up.
Nilikuwa nangoja matokeo.
Check up
kwenye foleni. Nilikuwa naenda kuangaliwa, kupimwa. Nilikuwa naenda kupima nilikuwa nangoja matokeo.
Yes bet.
Bet hapo naye na nafikiri hapo naweza mchukulia hatua. Kwa sababu anazungumza match fixing. Na hii picha ametoa wapi mwanzo?
Ni Robi.
Si Robi?
But si Robi. Si ni picha tu iko kwa mitandao. Alafu hapo bro hata rangi hata huwezi jua sura bwana.
Ngoja, matokeo yalikuwa vipi? Ulikuwa unasubiri.
Matokeo yalikuwa vipi? Ilikuwa ugonjwa gani bale?
Robi ulipata matokeo?
Okay. Of course, amesema alikuwa anangoja matokeo, but sijui kama ilikuwa inafika kwa hiyo simu. Let's take a look at this week's sleep. Quickly running through this week's sleep. I want us to take a look at the games that we have. Of course, Gor Mahia will be taking on Al Ahly in the CAF Champions League, and Police will be taking on Zamalek in CAF Confederation Cup. Sofapaka will be hosting Talanta in FKFPL. Kariobangi Sharks will be facing Tusker. Spurs will be taking on Arsenal. Hoffenheim face Leverkusen. Atalanta take on Fiorentina. Girona will be facing Barcelona. Atletico face Valencia. Lens take on Lyon. Now, I want us to shift from this. We take a look at last week's results. So, last week we had 10 matches on the cards. Germany with that 5-0 win against Hungary. Armenia with a 4-1 win against Latvia. Greece 3-0 win against Finland. Denmark 2-0 win against Serbia. Croatia 1-0 win against Poland. Cameroon winning against Namibia. Gambia losing to Tunisia. Equatorial Guinea settling for a 2-all draw against Togo. Uganda with a 2-0 win against Congo, and Madagascar with a 1-all draw against Comoros. Now, how did I perform last week? Yes, yours truly, consistency, Mr. Consistency, 9 out of 10. The only game I missed in this was Croatia versus Poland. The game ended 1-0, and I thought there would be goals. Cedric, we also when we are talking about these games, having in mind how Croatia played against Portugal and the way Poland played in the previous match against Denmark, we expected goals, but that didn't happen. Briefly, before we go to the guys on the other side.
First and foremost, I would like actually how you are really amassing your skills of betting. And I think outside there, investors should actually be looking on our way to put something into your pocket so as you can start enjoying altogether. But if you go by that particular, actually how it panned out, everything was quite okay, going by how we discussed it. But I will still say that Croatia is a team that is really trying to find its boots. And maybe moving forward, it will be out actually to continue challenging whatever the big wings of the Europe as it has been doing since 2018.
Yes. So, Hassan Juma, I don't know how you performed. You know, pale chini, as you say, mambo ni mbwata. So, nyinyi na mbwata zenu, tueleze. Mulimbwata aje?
I am not surprised that you got 9 out of 10 because, I mean, your sleep is, whenever you place a bet, you played so safe. I mean, hii ukiweka 100, I think unapata 200. Sasa 200 mimi, hata Liam Fezi mnulia maziwa. Let's look at my sleep. Tuangalie sleep yangu iliendaje. Sleep yangu mambo yalikuwa hivi 7 out of 10. Unaona at least hii sleep, Simba sana nilipoteza 3 lakini hapo ukiweka kidogo unapata kitu. Kakiru improvement aje si kona tukeni kwa utachi bwana. Sleep Simba kama 2 hivi. Karaoke. No, achana karaoke. Mkangai Shtembi sleep unaonaje? 7 out of 10, 9 out of 10, just briefly for 10 seconds each.
9 out of 10? Robi nafikiri ni mjanja wa hii town. Na tutafanya kazi Robi kwa sababu najua kwamba ndio ni kidogo. Ukiweka 50 unapata 55 bob. Lakini hainaje uweke nyingine 50 utoke na 0. So the best amejua ile game. So nafikiri kwamba amejaribu sana. Tumvulie kofia na kumzimia sigara.
Shtembi 7 out of 10.
Not bad.
It's more of a, I think, B and above. It's not C, it's not
A minor.
7 out of 10.
9. Oh, you know F. You know
F. Kangai.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Kangai. I'm going to step. I'm going to a serious matter. Bro, Rogers, what do you make of this? 7 out of 10?
No. I think we are gaining momentum as the show progresses, and based from what you have already seen, I think we can give some plaudits to Robinson because he has learnt it very well.
It's so safe.
Yeah. You know, since, like I always said, since the last year's edition, I think he knew that indeed, if I play safe, I'll get more odds or rather more bets compared to when maybe I go directly to the slip. But here it is. I think you maintain your pace, and 7 out of 10. I think it is remarkable, and keep it up.
Mtu mlima.
Twende.
Wewe usiongea kuhusu yangu, hebu tupatie yako, tuone yako ilikuwaje. Mtu mlima.
Tupe.
Ndio ground nasemaje? Ground 8 out of 10.
8.
Hara? New signing. Zagzi. Ameshaweka bench nani?
Ona Juma. Sikia Kariuki. Saizi I think probation ushapita. So unaweza kana wazee kwenye meza.
Is ready to dine with the big boys.
Exactly.
Kuna mtu nimesha bench. Alianza na 6, sasa leo ameingia 7. Ala. Mimi nilianza 7 nimeenda 8.
Sasa
na karibia huyu jamaa wa 9.
Sasa
utapata memo.
Sasa onyesho. Yaani tumekuribet kwa show sasa unataka
lakini nafikiri inafaa tuanze kujua kwamba hii show nani ndio yuko hapa anafuata nani. Kwa sababu huyu anaambia kwamba muidhinisha suu.
Lakini si ngoja last edition au kwa ulikuwa wapi?
Kwanza nafaa memo.
Memo?
Where was
my red card?
Absconding duty.
Angalia, hii wiki Harambee Stars wakiwa ugenini walitoa ushindi muhimu sana katika dimba la kufuzu kombe la AFCON, ushindi muhimu nchini Afrika Kusini dhidi ya Namibia, mabao 2-1 waliokosa uhondo. Hivi ndivyo mambo yalivyokuwa. Harambee Stars vijana wa Engine Firat wakitoa ushindi kwa haraka tu. Roger Stemi, what do you make of that win?
I think it is a good bounce back based on where they're coming from, because
remember
they had maybe a lackluster performance against Zimbabwe, and here maybe they tried to pull those upsets and maybe prove critics wrong, more so winning it away against Namibia, a team that has looked to be a look-up to them. And I feel they played most in the second half, proved that indeed this team is ready. But now the biggest question is, maybe by the time we go into the third round, that is in October, where will they be playing next? Because these people need the 12 months to push them to get this week, because it's so crucial, whereby playing against Cameroon, that will be a two-legged tie, whereby you go in Yaoundé first and then come back to East Africa. But we don't know where this match is going to be paid. So maybe our plea could be to the government and whoever concerned to ensure maybe give this fans something to appreciate and cheer the players, because without that 12 months, definitely it's going to be difficult. But if they get that or get even 4 points or 3 points against Cameroon, trust me not, they'll be in Morocco 2025.
Weekend, Steven Mkangai, Gor Mahia bana.
Serikali.
Mkubwa babu kubwa, serikali dhidi ya Al Ahly. Mchuano ambao wote ni vigogo kwa viwango vyao, au sio?
Kwa viwango vyao, wajua.
Gor Mahia wapo nyumbani, mchuano huu wa mkondo wa kwanza.
Napenda unatumia neno vigogo kwa ligi zao ama kwa viwango vyao. Hapa Kenya Gor Mahia ligi ni yao. Lakini ukienda African Champions League, hii ni kama Real Madrid, Al Ahly. Alafu Mwarabu ana giliba nyingi sana, ni mjanja. So kuanzia hapa Nairobi Kenya nafikiri atatafuta kama draw ndio akienda kule Warabuni haribu. Lakini Gor Mahia matokeo yao dhidi ya timu kutoka Sudan inaonyesha kwamba timu ambayo inacheza mpira mzuri. So nafikiri wakitumia nafasi zao vizuri, kwanza msikubali kufungwa first half. Second half pata mabao, defend vizuri, wana nafasi kutoka draw ama kushinda. Naona ukishinda tu nini Gor Mahia.
Lakini ni siku ya Jumapili hiyo. Hapo kesho punda afya, lakini mzigo ufike. Polisi watakuwa nyumbani dhidi ya vigogo wengine wa ukanda huo wa bara Asia, si ndio? Si ndio? Farao, Zamalek wale.
Huwa wazuri sana Zamalek. Ukiwa mwangalifu, utaona kwamba wako na playing. Unajua wakati mwingine unatafuta playing style. Wao wako sawa sana. Na pia polisi hawajakuwa vibaya hapa nyumbani. Lakini sasa ukilinganisha na jinsi ambavyo wamekuwa wakicheza mechi zao za hapo awali, mimi naweza nikasema kwamba watakuwa na kibarua sana kuhakikisha kwamba wanashinda nyumbani. Kwa sababu hawa Zamalek si wabaya. Tasema si wabaya. Kwa hivyo nasema moja kwa moja huenda tukashuhudia away win.
Away win. Robinson Okenya, Cedric Musumba, Gor Mahia and Police will be in Continental football. I don't know, what do you make of these matches, this weekend matches, Robin?
Well, of course, as on Sunday, Gor Mahia, the FKF Premier League champions, taking on the CAF Champions League defending champions, that is Al Ahly. And then tomorrow, Police will be in action against Zamalek, another Egyptian giant. So, Cedric, I want to bring you into this conversation briefly. Each time, you know, Kenyan teams qualify into the CAF Champions League, we're always given an Egyptian side or a Moroccan side. Why are we always being given teams from North Africa?
I don't necessarily see like it's a kind of a formula that Kenya team will always finding the northern experience who and again end up maybe eliminating them. But it's also a good venture for Kenyan team. If happen actually to go past that kind of line, then it becomes so easier moving forward, knowing that they have actually maybe eliminated the final CAF finalists or maybe CAF championship, maybe title contender.
Yes.
And also it gives them some kind of morale that will make them maybe moving forward, knowing that any team that will gonna face will be an easier task. And also the aspect that this team comes to Kenya knowing that Kenya, maybe it's just a walk in the park. Also that aspect of Kenyan team maybe having to host them at that particular level, give them a bigger chance moving forward. And
briefly, Cedric, Gor Mahia coach Leonardo Martins-Neva said that he needs Gor Mahia fans on Sunday to turn up so that they can give them a push. What do you have to say about that?
I probably followed that, and I was so surprised that he was banking on fun. He needed actually to train his player, or maybe immerse his player to know that they can as well as play in a stadium where there's no fans. What will happen even may happen to return, go to a return match in Egypt, whereby there will be so no fan, maybe, okay, if the fan is there, they will just send a drop of notion maybe to support them. He need to understand that God should be ready to beat these Egyptian or any other team that they are facing in any given night, may it be in a neutral ground, but not start backing on fan. What happens if God happens maybe here to play well and in front of their fan, happen maybe to come out with a margin, just a slim margin, and then may goes back where there is no fans, the panic will actually work against them. So the aspect of him calling or running for fans does not augur well with me. I just want him to make the team that will go away and win.
Police, they are making a debut in this competition. They are facing Egyptian giants, Zamalek.
You know, I'm so surprised with this team called Police, because it's a team that is actually carrying the all Kenyan experienced players that actually has graced highest stage in Kenya, in African soccer. Police has players that has really represented Kenya in Africa Cup of Nations 2019, the likes of Musa Mohammed. You have the likes of Abuda Obadomar. Jesse Ware is coming back to this particular team. It's a team that need to go outside there facing the likes of Zamalek, knowing that these are much of ours because we have been in the same ground at the upper level of this African soccer. But how Police has been giving the result it's really giving us is not quite anything actually to put on a table and celebrate about it. And even maybe if they were going to surprise us tomorrow and maybe come out victoriously, that will be a kind of an element that will make us now starting believing in them. But currently as it is not a team that we can put our cards on.
So the weekend sleep. One more time, we take a look at the weekend sleep. Of course, Gor Mahia taking on Al Ahly. We have Police facing Zamalek tomorrow. Sofapaka versus Talanta, Kariobangi Sharks versus Tusker. Spurs take on Arsenal. Hoffenheim will be facing Leverkusen. Atalanta take on Fiorentina. Girona take on Barcelona. Atletico will be in action against Valencia. And Lens will be facing Lyon. So we took a short break. When we come back, we'll be taking a look at what we have predicted for this weekend. And aside from that, we give you what to expect when the North London Derby happens this weekend. That will be after the break.